let's flip a coin. Head Carolina, tails California.
Hello, it's Andy Graham of the Ask Andy Show. I'm in Orland, Indiana, a small city of 400 people, and strangely one of the paradises on planet for me. I mean, of course, I grew up here. I was one of these lucky sperms that actually grew up in a very, very nice place on the planet, and I could never have any regrets about growing up. But I'm always laughing because a lot of the times the expats I meet around the planet, or a lot of the people I meet on the planet, believe that they live in a very horrible place, and they just don't know how easy it is to move to a nice place. Okay, I got a question here by Wolf B. Andy, in at least one of your videos, you rattle off a list of destinations with a perfect climate. Can you do a blog post listing them? Thanks, Wolf. Yes, I can. Okay, but I had to trying to make sure I had a list of them comprehensive. What makes a perfect climate is a place. The only way I could define a perfect climate is a place where you don't need air conditioning and you don't need furnaces. That means that the climate, the overall climate. That doesn't mean the weather is today. The climate is the year. Okay, and you know, of course, you can have rainy days in perfect climates. I mean, there is no such thing as perfect. There's always problems, but perfect climates are easy to find in not easy to find, but they're pretty easy to find. It's probably not easy to find people living at all the perfect climates. But a perfect climate is there's a band where the sun goes over the world, and that you have different times. Like the first day of summer is when it's at 23.5 degrees above the equator in the northern hemisphere. You know, but you got tropics. It's 23.5 degrees above the equator to 23.5 degrees below the equator. This is called the tropical zone, and in this area, it's almost always warm. The problem is it can be too warm, right? But what counteracts this is a way when the elevation goes up. The elevation is the distance above sea level. When the elevation is at 5,000 feet or 1,500 meters, I'm always thinking in meters, but 1,500 meters, at this level, because as you rise up in the air, it gets colder. Okay, so at 1,005 feet, it counteracts the tropical heat and makes for just an idyllic climate where nobody needs air conditioning and nobody needs furnaces. Now, obviously, if you go higher, it gets colder, and then you're sort of chilly days. And there are people that just like really chilly days. But to me, the idea of having to wear more than a shirt or maybe a very, very light jacket just starts to be cumbersome. Although I admit there are people, but if you get this in your mind, you can adjust it, right? So if you're a person that really would just like to be a little colder all the time, you go a little higher elevation. If you want to be warmer all the time, you go lower. But there's also a variable of humidity, right? Which is a big problem in a lot of places. It's a very big problem in Indiana, where I live. It can get so hot and humid during the summer that it's more miserable than any time I've ever in the tropics, because hardly ever is it so humid. Basically all the humidity's evaporated off. Okay, the places I'm going to list out is Medellin, Colombia, at 1,495 meters or 4,900 feet. Medellin, Colombia. Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. Right down the street, that's at 1,562 meters or 5,125 feet. You've got also there, you got Antigua, Guatemala, which is just a bigger city and a little thing. One's on a lake, and Antigua is just up the street, up closer to Guatemala City. So a lot of people like the city life, right? Because paradise is about living where you makes you feel comfortable, I guess. Antigua is at 5,029 feet or 1,533 feet. Baguio Philippines. A lot of people want to go live in the Philippines, and I discovered this after doing a lot of research. And I think there's more places in the Philippines, and I'm always looking for more of these guys because I'll go visit them. Okay, Baguio Philippines. It's 1,500 meters or 4,921 feet. Baguio has a very good expat community, and there's these. I'm basically listing out where there's cities. What's really nice about Baguio is you can go about 2 hours down the shore and you could actually go to the ocean. So it's pretty close to the ocean. Awasa, Ethiopia. Really nice place. There's a lake there, and it's a really great place just to hang out for a while, but it's at 1,700 meters. So it's a little colder, but really because of the climate there, it's pretty dry. So I would say it's counteracted by the dry climate. You got these winds around the planet that dry things, so sometimes it's there. It's at 5,604 feet. Lake Chapala, Mexico, is at 1,549 meters, so it's right at the 5,000 meters. There's Ajic and Lake Chapala. These two places I've never been there, but they should have almost perfect climates. You've got Oaxaca, Mexico at 1,555 meters or 5,012 feet. Also, one of the places is Boquete Panama. Now this is a little lower, and it's at 1,100 meters. So I haven't got the feet here, but it's a little warmer in there. We're working on a project where I'll say all these again here shortly. I think Anahuela, Costa Rica also has a perfect climate. I will say that if you're in East Africa, you've got from Kenya all the way through. There's a plateau there that's all at 1,300 meters, so there's a very large piece of land there that all has relatively perfect climate. One thing bad with where climates are a little colder in Africa, they don't take as good as showers, so sometimes can be annoying because people don't shower as good. The hot climates is where people, are basically taking showers more often because it's just not a burden to take a shower. So there's all these things. But let me name off all these places again. Boquete, Panama, Medellin, Colombia, Lake Atalan, Guatemala, Baguio, Philippines, Wasa, Ethiopia, Lake Chapala, Mexico. You could also find a place, Ajic there. It's right close there. It's the same almost place. Oaxaca, Mexico, Antigua, Guatemala. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that Anahuela, Costa Rica is pretty close to this thing. This is a constant research for me, and I'm constantly trying to figure out. Actually, my friend Eric is doing a thing where we're calling the Paradise Project, where we're trying to put together places or cities that would fit into this category. Then there's some things like, see, you could go up to Florida. Like Florida could be, in the winter in Florida, could be pretty much paradise because it's endless spring, but it's not paradise all year round. So you have times of the year where some places or climates are perfect. Like in the United States, basically spring in Indiana can be really paradise. And if you really get this through your brain and you really study it, you can figure out when's the best time to go to some places. Do not just key in on the fact of high tourist seasons and things like that. They really are not related to climate as much as you would think. They're more to do with when school's off and when, like Europe's big in the summer because it's, they're basically people are not in school and they have time to go travel. So a lot of the tourist destinations, actually, it can be quite miserable to go to some tourist destinations at high tourist season. But you really try to understand the elevation of the places where you're at and how so study the tropics and then try to figure out higher locations. And then of course somehow the ideal location on the planet would be if I was in Brazil and I had Copacabana Beach, and then somehow within 1 hour I could go up to 5,000 feet and live, and so I could have the best of both worlds. This would be paradise to me, because what I would like to do is enjoy the ocean and the beach and things like that. But a lot of people think beach, and I want to tell you, when you think beaches, like a lot of the beaches in the Philippines are horrible. There's nobody at them, and the Philippine people do not lay in the sun, and they're just vacant beaches. And this is not really a very much, it's not a fun type of beach. A fun beach is where there's enough people on the beach to, have some activities, and there's some restaurants, and there's some people watching, right? Contrary to what you think, sometimes a lot of you are so overwhelmed in your home city, you think you want to go someplace where there's just absolutely no people, and that truly is not paradise. You really need enough people to enjoy life and have some people to talk to. Living alone on a desert island would be hell to me, and I think it would be to 99% of you. And be careful what you dream for, because sometimes it's not really what you want. I will try to add to this list. My email address is hoboontheroad@yahoo.com, and I would really appreciate if you can write me with more places like this, because I'll keep adding to this list. And if you see, I've collected on Hobo Traveler. We have a link at the top, on the top of hobotraveler.com. It's places like Live Abroad. If you click on there, you'll see that we have 100 websites. And these 100 websites are the 100 best places on the planet to hang out, in my opinion. They're evolving, they're changing, and we just got rid of all the ones in Dominican Republic because it's just way too dangerous. And we're going to add to these things, and we just keep coming up with the best place to hang out. But those are taken into consideration places like English bookstores and things. One reason why I'm going to Southeast Europe right now is because Bulgaria is supposed to be one of the best places to retire, but I think it's pretty cold, okay? And I'm going to try to suss out this areas, whether it's things, because paradise is really a place where you don't have to think about budgets. And I'm not, obviously there's some places in southern France and all of Europe that are really beautiful and really nice, like Malaga, Spain is really nice. The trouble is that you have to mortgage your first child to live there, and I can never call this paradise. A paradise is a place where basically you basically always have enough money to live and prosper without thinking about money all the time. Okay, well, help me out on this and send me any place where you think the climate's perfect, and explain why. Don't just make me do all the research. You got to give me some justifications for this stuff. It's really, just because you love a place and you've been there one time for 2 weeks doesn't mean it's paradise. Living there is what proves it, okay? If you're living in paradise, write me and tell me.
We can